We begin now at the top of Daf Beis Amud Aleph in Mesechet Kesubos. This is Kesubos Daf 2a. The Mishnah says, Besula nisis liyom haraviyah, Besula, a virgin, she gets married on Wednesday. Rashi over here explains, Besula nisis liyom haraviyah, takonas chachamim hi. This is a takonas chachamim shetinasi b'revi, that she should get married on Wednesday, b'revi b'Shabbos, kin mefarish taima, like the Gemara will explain the reason. And the Mishnah continues, V'almona liyom hachamishi, and an almona, when she gets married, meaning a widow, she gets married on Thursday. Shepamayim b'Shabbos botei dinin yoshin ba'yoros, because there's 2 times a week that the courts, they sit in the villages, bayom hasheni v'yom hachamishi, on Mondays and on Thursdays. Shemhaya lo tainas besulim. That way, if the person has some claim that this woman that he married is not really a besula, is not really a virgin, hayamashkim lebezdin, he'll be able to get up and go to bezdin with his claim. And Rashi over here says, Shepa'amim b'Shabbos abesulakai. We're going here on the case of besula, on the case of the virgin. B'sheni v'chamishi. So on Mondays and Thursdays, achas me'eser takana shatik and Ezra. This is one of the 10 institutions that Ezra made in terms of the courts. They would sit in court on Mondays and Thursdays. B'Bava Kama, b'Perek Meruba, Mefarish Lakulu. All the various takanas are explained in Bava Kama. Well, l'kach tiknu shatinasi b'Revi. For the following reason, they said that she should get married on Revi, meaning on Wednesday. Shem hayelo tainas besulam. That way, if he has some claim that she wasn't really a besula, yashkim lebezdin ba'od kaiso olav. He can get up and go to bezdin while he's still angry, meaning while he's still thinking about this issue, and go right away to bezdin. Now, if there's going to be time where he can't go to bezdin right away, so we have a concern, shema yispayis, so maybe he'll become appeased. V'tiskara daitu, he's going to cool off. V'yikaimen, and he's going to stay married to her. V'shema he's in satachtav, and the concern is that maybe what really happened is she committed adultery while they were married. V'nesra olav, and now she has become prohibited to him. Kiri alfinan mivinistra v'hinitzma umitoch sheyavo lebezdin yisbar hadavar. So therefore, we want to encourage him to come to bezdin so we can clarify the matter. K'sheyotza akol shema yavo edim. That way, maybe witnesses will come again and clarify whether she committed adultery or not. The Gemara is going to ask if that's the case, why not get married on Sunday? Because the courts also sit in session not only on Thursday, they also sit in session on Monday. And the Gemara says, Amar Rav Yosef, Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel. Rav Yosef says in the name of Rav Yehuda, in the name of Shmuel, Mipnei ma amru besula nisas liyom haravi. What's the reason that they say that a besula gets married on Wednesday? Lefisha shaninu, because we learned, higia zman velo nisu. Let's say the time comes and they don't actually get married. So the halacha is, ochlos mishalovi, ochlos betruma. This is a Mishnah later on. It says that in such a situation where the time for the wedding came, but they didn't get married, so then she's still allowed to eat from his food, meaning he has to support her, and she's even entitled to truma at that point in time. Let's say she's marrying a Kohen. Yachol higiyazman be'echad b'Shabbos. Now I might think, let's say the time arrives on Sunday. Yehei ma'ala lo mezonos. Maybe there also he has to supply her with her food. Lekach shanino. No, that's why it says in the Mishnah earlier, meaning our Mishnah over here, besula nisas liyom haravi, that the besula gets married on Wednesday, meaning to say that Sunday really isn't the time to get married. She's supposed to get married on Wednesday anyhow. Now Rashi over here says, lefisha shanino lekamon makshila. The Gemara is going to explain this because it doesn't really seem to answer the question. Why does she get married liyom haravi? Because we learned some Mishnah about, let's say they don't get married on time. We don't really understand the connection. Higiyaz man velo nisu lekamon beperek afapi. This is later on. Tanan, the Mishnah says as follows: Nosin lebesula shnei masar chodesh mishativa habal vehizer al hanisu and leparnes atzman betachshitin. So we give the besula, we give her 12 months mishatava habal from the time that the husband claims her, that wants to get married to her. In other words, we give her a little bit of a warning time before the marriage so she can adorn herself properly. The almana, we give her 30 days. So that's the idea, that the 12 months she's given. Now, higiyaz man zevelonis. So let's say the 12 months are up and they're not yet married. L'chuppah, she doesn't yet go to the chuppah. L'kamon mefarish ikev habal. We're going to explain later on that the husband held things up. So ochlos mishalosh habal chayv mizonos ishto. The point of that Mishnah later on is the husband really has to provide mizonos. Now the time has arrived. Mitakonas bezin k'lekamon perak nara. That's a takonas bezin as well. V'ochlos betruma, and she can also eat truma. Im kohen, who if he's a kohen, v'hi bas Yisrael, and she's a bas Yisrael, shah kohen macheles ishto truma, because a kohen allows his wife to eat truma. K'riyolaf mi v'kohen ki yikne nefesh. That's learned out from Sukkim. And Rashi continues, lekach shoninu besula nisis, and for that reason we learned that the besula gets married on Wednesday. Lahodia shel takonas chachamim makva. So it means to say, let's say she didn't get married because it's Sunday and there's a takonas chachamim that says she has to wait until Wednesday. Milichnos ve'ena kavazu shalo. In other words, that's not really his fault. fault. So in that particular case, if they're just waiting for the Wednesday, so then it's not considered his fault, and he doesn't need to provide her mizonos. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Yosef says, Mare de Avram, master of Avram, Tali Tanya b'delo Tanya. It doesn't make sense. You're taking something that was learned and you're making it depend on something that doesn't have the reason. In other words, you're not providing any reason by citing this additional Mishnah. As Rashi says, Mare de Avram, Tamal divrei Rabo. What he's doing over here, this is Rav Yosef talking, and he's surprised. He was quoting his Rebbe, and he's surprised by what his Rebbe said. V'yamar Mare de Avram, Maza haya l'Shmuel lomar kain. Why did Shmuel say this halacha? Why did he relate one Mishnah to the other? V'yod shechala Rav Yosef v'shachach Talmud. Furthermore, Rav Yosef got sick when he was older. He forgot his learning, and therefore he was wondering about this statement that he had made earlier in the name of his Rebbeim. Tali Tanya b'delo Tanya, Tola Tam Mishnah Shenuya b'Mishnah She'ena Shenuya. The point is, you have a Mishnah that has a reason, and then you're giving the reason from another Mishnah where the reason is not explained properly. And the Gemara continues 1 second. Hi Tanya v'Hi Lo Tanya. Which one is taught and which one is not taught? Ha Tanya v'Ha Tanya. They're both taught. They're both Mishnayos. And so the Gemara clarifies. Alatali Tanya de Meforish Taima, b'Tanya de Lo Meforish Taima. What we mean to say is that you're taking something where the reason is there, and then you're going to some other source where there's no reason given in order to explain it. That doesn't make any sense. As Rashi over here explains, Elatali Tanya de Meforish Taima, b'Tanya de Lo Meforish Taima. The Gemara had understood that Tanya simply means it's taught, it's learned. So the Gemara said they're both taught. And so then the Gemara clarifies, we mean to say that the reason is not taught. Mishnah Seinu Taima Meforish B'Socha. Our Mishnah, the reason's right there in the Mishnah. Kadesha Yashkim Lebezin. It says the reason why she gets married on Wednesday is so that he can go to court the next morning. But now in the other one, where it talks about Higi Azman, there is no real reason given. There it actually doesn't explain the reason why, if the time arrives on Sunday, that he doesn't have to provide her mizonos. And so the Gemara says, you're right, rather, if there was any statement made by Shmuel, the statement should be as follows. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel, Rav Yehuda says in the name of Shmuel, why is it that a Basula gets married on Wednesday? In this way, if he has a claim against the fact that and he's saying that she's not a Basula, he can go to Bezdin. So the Gemara then says, so why is it only on Wednesday though? Why not let her get married on Sunday? It's the same thing. If he has a Tainus Basulim, again, this is all Rav Yosef over here talking. If he has a Tainus Basulim, he can get up on Monday. What's the difference, Wednesday or Sunday? And the Gemara says, Shaktu Chachamim al Takonos Benos Yisrael, Shehei Toreach Besuda Shlosh Yamim. No, the reason is that the Chachamim were diligent when it came to instituting things on behalf of the daughters of Israel. We want the people to be busy making the meal. We want to make a nice wedding for 3 days. They should be busy preparing for 3 days. Echad b'Shabbos, V'sheni b'Shabbos, U'shlishi b'Shabbos. This way they can prepare Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday over Revi'i Kons, and then he can get married to her on Wednesday. In other words, the point is that really, you're right, really it would have been the same thing Sunday or Wednesday, but we prefer Wednesday because we want to give the time to prepare properly for the wedding. Now that we've learned that we were diligent and we're making sure that the wedding is prepared properly, so then we said later on that if you have a situation where the time arrives and they haven't yet gotten married, so then she's allowed to eat from him, meaning he has to provide her mizonos, and she can eat truma, but but let's say that time arrives and it's a Sunday, because of the fact that we're not allowing him to marry on Sunday, that's the connection there to Sunday, therefore he doesn't have to provide her with mizonos. And the Gemara continues, Lefikach, therefore, Chalahu, Osha Chalsahi, let's say he becomes sick, or she becomes sick, another reason they have to delay, Osha Pirsa Nida, or let's say she becomes a Nida, Eino Malala Mizonos, so then he will not need to provide her these Mizonos. And Rashi over here explains, V'tinase Becher B'Shabbos, Kula Rav Yosef Kamarla. This entire statement here is Rav Yosef, why not get married on Sunday? V'yachshav Shashaninu Shaktu, and now that we say that they were careful in terms of the Benos Yisrael, that they should have nice weddings, Uvishvil Takana Zuhu Mu'ukav Milich, and it's because of this really that he can't get married on Sunday. So now we connected to that other Mishnah. And now Rav Yosef really is concluding. First he's quoting his Rebbeim, and now he's concluding on his own, and he's saying, from his own logic, he's saying, now that we're saying that if something held you back that was an onus, that he doesn't have to provide mizonos, so the same should be true if he gets sick, she gets sick, etc. And the Gemara continues, V'iko de boy lami boy. There are those who actually ask this as a question. They say, Chalahu, what would be the halacha? Let's say he gets sick. Hasam taima, over there, what's the reason? Hasam taima mai mishum da'onis. The reason is because there was an onus. V'achanami ha'onis. When a person gets sick, that's also an onus. O dilmer, maybe hasam onis b'takanta de takinu le rabbanon. There, let's say it's Sunday, you can't get married on Sunday, the onus is based on a takanas chachamim. But hachalo, but over here, when he just gets sick, it's not based on a takanami de rabbanon, and therefore it's not the same thing. Now, if you're going to answer that if he gets sick, he does need to provide mizonos. So what would be the halacha if she gets sick? Could he say to her, I'm standing here, I'm ready to get married. It's really not, I'm not the one preventing it, so I don't need to give you mizonos. O dilmor, maybe she can say to him, nistachva sadehu. And Rashi over here explains, nistachva sadehu lashon mater. It's like a language of rain, your field was flooded. Sochif nishtifa sadcha. Kalover mazlacha garam. It's just an expression. It means that's your bad luck. From today, you need to provide me mizonos. And the fact that we can't get married because I got sick, meaning the woman got sick, that's something that just falls on the husband, and there's nothing he could do about it. She could say again, nistachva sadehu. Now, if you're going to say that she could say to him, your field became flooded, meaning there's nothing we can do about it, but you still need to give me mizonos. Pir sanida mao. So what would be the halacha when she becomes a nida? And the Gemara continues, b'shaz vestaloti boilach. Now, if we're talking about the fact that she became a nida at the time of the vest, meaning at the time she was expecting her period, that's not even a question. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Beis Amud Beis.